G'day and welcome back to Brooksy's Car Restorations. In today's episode, we're going to attempt a Will It Run TC 2000 Triumph. Got the young fella with us. We're about to strap this perfectly cleaned. Well, not perfect, but it's cleaned anyways. Starter motor back in the car and, well, see if we can't get some things to try and turn over. Alright, so hey, Dad's under the car currently cleaning up the surfaces for the starter and reattaching the starter. I've just pulled all the wires off and about to just check the spark plugs and squirt a bit of stuff down the cylinders just for fun. And and Dad's also just anyways. So we pulled the first plug and I don't know how well you can see that, but it's almost brand new, like there's not even any surface rust on it. So we'll definitely put that back in the car and try and run them. I'm going to buy new plugs at this point, if they're all looking like that is. And then just give each cylinder a good squirting. Oh, yeah, I've got a friend down there.
I got it.
Back to front. Yeah, not how well you can see here, but all the wires are disconnected. I've got one of the wires hooked up there to see if there's any spark. The all the plugs are out, they're all up here. So the engine can spin a bit freer without all the compression. Everything's had a good squirt down it. Dad's just tightened up the last bolt or whatever wire on the starter motor, and not too far away from trying to hand crank it or crank it with the starter. So we've just squirted some ATF down the cylinders. The engine seems well and truly seized at the moment, so we're just going through the protocols of trying to get it unseized. We'll start with a bit of oil down the cylinders and check it in it tomorrow sometime and see if it's helped unseize it a bit, and then go from there. Worst comes to worst, by the end of the week we end up pulling an engine apart and tapping cylinders or playing with heads or whatever. But unfortunately she did not turn over today. I was kind of hoping she wouldn't be too easy a job, but at the same time I was hoping she'd at least start or turn over today. But
Well, the starter motor's in and clicking in, you can hear it engaging. It's just not turning the motors over. So the starter motor's sorted.
we think the solenoid might be cactus too. The it's not. It works when you jump the solenoid, but it won't
Work off the key.
off the key. Yeah,
Could be a wiring issue. Could be a fuse. Could be the solenoid itself.
But at least the starter motor is clicking now. Before it wasn't making any noise at all. So I got oil everywhere, which I'm sort of half tidying up as we go along. It was a bit of a mess trying to get it in each cylinder. So when and if the car decides to turn over tomorrow, it could be fun. It's gonna shoot oil everywhere. It's got nice compression. So yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and play around with it and see if we can't get it to turn over. If not, we'll maybe in a week or Monday we'll have another crack. But I will definitely be doing, now that it's in the garage, I'll be definitely probably putting out a detailed video of cleaning up the interior and stuff. So if I do get a video out this week, that's what it'll be about. Detailing and cleaning the car. Because yeah, but we'll see. I was hoping to do this little run with Dad, so I can do everything else without him, but he's busy for the rest of the week, so
we ended up spending 3/4 of the day or more on the CRV, so we've only had a couple of hours on this. We've done pretty well.
Yeah. Anywho, but we wouldn't have been able to get as far. We would have got to a point where we had to stop anyways because the engine's blowing really season. We can't turn it over at this point. So, anywho, I'll be back tomorrow. See what's going on. Hey guys, back again. Yeah. So yesterday we tried to do some things. Engine wouldn't turn over. We couldn't get a big enough spanner / wrench on the car. Radiator issues. I'm going to try again this morning, but ideally if the engine's not turning over, I'm going to pull the radiator and get a big wrench / bar on there and give it a proper heave-ho, and then if that doesn't work, we'll start tearing into the engine. Now, I was ideally wanting to do this with my dad, but he's pretty busy at the moment. He can only sort of give me a few hours here and there every week, so I can't just have this poor thing. Well, I could, but ideally it's not the best idea to just have this thing sitting in my driveway taking up all the space when I've got cars constantly coming and going. So I'm going to see what I can do over the next couple of days or weekend to get this thing running, and then by Monday he might be back. If not Wednesday, we'll because the clutch system's all dried out and whatnot. We'll if I do manage to get the car going, then him and I can get the brakes and the clutch sorted. It's pretty much a two-man job, anyways, for the bleeding processes and what have you. So yeah, let's just see what we can get done today, eh? So firstly, we'll mess around with the car a little bit, and then I'll probably pull the radiator out if that doesn't do anything. If the soaking in oil didn't work overnight, well then probably pull the radiator out and get a bigger thing on the front of the engine. See if we can't crack it over, and then if all else fails, we start pulling it apart and see what's wrong with it. Why it's seizing up. Yeah. Anyways. So we almost got the radiator off. I've been fighting with the last bolt for about half an hour to an hour. It's down in there, you can't really get much onto it, and then to make matters worse, you've somehow got to hold that nut, turn that nut while holding that one at the front. Oops, where is it? There it is. It's like a square thing. And I'm not that talented. I've tried bracing a spanner while I did this side, but yeah, anyways, so I'll wait till either the missus is awake or Dad comes over later with kids or whatever, and we'll take the last bolt out, and then we'll try and get a wrench on that son of a gun. Now, I've ordered a new solenoid, so hopefully that'll be in soon. In the meantime, I'm either going to start cleaning / detailing that inside there, which I'm really looking forward to doing, or I've got to clean and fix that. Not fix that, but clean and detail that, because that's going up for sale shortly. So it's probably how I'm going to spend my afternoon. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get any further on this today. Well, till maybe later this afternoon anyways. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright, finally dropped the radiator. I was able to find my vice grips eventually and use it to hold the other nut. It doesn't want to come out through the top, so I'm having to take it out through the bottom. So, I mean, that's where we're at. Alright, just for fun while we got it out, I'm gonna see what comes out of this radiator, give it a bit of a flush, see what happens. I'm having fun doing things one-handed today. Alrighty. See what we got coming out the bottom, shall we? Oh yeah, that's lovely. We'll probably run that until it gets nice and clean and clear. And don't drop my phone in this crap. This might take a while. It's starting to get clearer now. Yep. Put it in the other hole, and now she's coming out dark again. Holy heck. Went through the top just once first. Oh, it's gonna fall over. Oh, don't fall over. Oh, lost my phone. Bloody radiator fell over. Alright, that's looking heaps better. It's coming out pretty clear now. Alrighty. I mean, other than a little bit of rust on the outside, this radiator is pretty good. It doesn't look that old. Like it's, I mean, you know, there's no broken fins. I don't think it's going to leak. So you might have a pretty decent radiator, hopefully. You know, apart from a little mark here and there. I was very careful getting it out of the car. I didn't want to, you know, rub it, scratch it, break fins, etc, etc. Anyways, I guess we'll just have to see if it holds pressure or not. The bottom hose is definitely questionable. It's full of rusty metal, as was that bottom pipe. So I may have to replace that hose, if not give it a thorough clean out. Anyways, let's head back to the Triumph now that I can get a bloody big wrench on it and see if we can't get the engine to turn over. Hey Beatty. Alright, back in the engine bay again. Let's see what we can do. Alright, got my big daddy one out. Let's see what we can do. Come on, baby. Oh. I'm just tightening the nut. Let's try the other way. I think we're going to break something. She definitely don't want to bust over. Well, looks like we might be tearing the engine down after all. So I've taken off the, what do you call it, belt. Maybe I'll turn this bastard around. And the generator's spinning nicely. The water pump could get replaced, but at the moment it sounds alright. It's not causing me any restriction anyways. bloody engine. I thought maybe one or the other could have been potentially holding the engine up a bit, but it doesn't appear that's the case. I'm going to give it another bit of a hit and see what happens with the big bar. See if we can't move it now that I've got the belt off. I don't think it's going to make a difference. Those other two things weren't really stuck. I'm just trying to avoid pulling an engine apart if I can. So we're back at it again, I guess. Start pulling things apart and see what's maybe a stuck valve if we're lucky. Otherwise start belting pistons and what have you, maybe. Alright, just to recap where I'm up to. I've loosened off all the bolts on the tubber cover. I've removed that thing there. I've blocked off all the carbies, inlets, or whatever. Yeah, so we'll take the tuppets off the gas cover now. And I can't talk today. Wrong way. If you're wondering why I'm using these things, yeah, can't talk. The ratchet shifter thingies. I just bought a set today, and I'm having fun with them. So it's not that you necessarily have to use this to take them off or anything like that. It's just new tool, new toy, etc., etc. Getting used to using them. I've never used them in my life. Dad's always got them and they're handy in a pinch. And alright, let's see if this tuppet wants to come off. See what we're working with. It actually looks really good. Don't know how well you can see that. Gasket's crunchy as hell. How are we looking? Oh, the arms are not floppy, that's for sure. Might give them a little bit of a tap and a bit of a spray and a bit of a loosen up and see what happens. All the I know what happened, I know what's happened. This is good. It's not good, but it's a somewhat easy fix. Apart from oh, son of a gun. Hang on a second. Alright. In the last part of the episode, pulled all this off. We diagnosed a potential issue with the push rod. I wasn't able to talk properly, so having trouble with my words. Felt like I was yesterday, anyways. I absolutely soaked everything in there, in the hopes that we can loosen all that up. Because at the moment, none of those push rods, all that stuff, are moving properly. So we're going to pull that off, see if that push rod's bent or not. If it's not bent, we'll reconnect it, hopefully, get all this loosened up, and we'll try again to turn the motor over. Hopefully. Alrighty. We've got the we had a look at the push rod's straight. However, there was a lot of play in the hang on a second, in the rocker arm. Oh, son of a... I'm so dodgy with these things. Anyway, it's back in there now. It's a lot tighter, but unfortunately, a lot of these rocker arms are still quite seized up. They're coming loose. Just gonna have to keep squirting and banging, I guess. But I may have to pull the head off and get the. I don't know if the what do you call it? Valves are coming up or not. So I may end up having to take the whole damn head off, which I'm not looking forward to. But I've got to unstick some of these valves / rocker arms, I guess. I was just hoping a bit of WD-40 might do the trick with a bit of banging. I'm not giving up yet, but I'm not giving up at all, but just letting you know this may end up being I'm not going to say head job, but I almost just did. Yeah, it might end up being having to take the head off, completely take the head off. I'm going to play around with the rockers and try and rotate the engine a bit more and just see if I can't get it even rocking backwards and forwards a little bit. We'll see. And yeah, squirt it a bit more, give it a bit more bang, see what happens. Well, looks like we've got to unstick some what do you call it, valves. So I'm going to take the rocker arms off and let them soak in something, and get them a bit looser. I think most of them are working properly now, but more than half of the valves are sticking. So I need to pull the rocker arm off, get the unsticker in there and give it a bang and carry on, and just loosen them up, keep getting the lube in there and banging on them, getting them loose. Yeah, fun. Right. So the rocker arms are all fairly tight. They're not really moving. We'll get them loosened up, but I'll show you what's happened down here. That one slipped completely off the arm. The what do you call it? So if you loosen that up, if that's not bent, how well can you see that? We should be able to put that back on the ball there, and Bob's your auntie and uncle, hopefully. So I'm going to play with these and get them loosened up a bit, and then see if the engine wants to turn over. But I have a feeling that's probably what the issue is. Well, I've just given these a good soaking, and gave them a bit of a tap. Some of them loosened up, some of them didn't. Some of them are very loose. This one here is almost coming off as well. That one on the end's completely come off. Can't really, it's hard to show you, but there it is. Yeah, that's completely come off the rocker, and then rocker arm, and you know, so we'll have to adjust some of these, I guess. Well, to begin with, we need to get them moving properly in and out and whatnot, and get the valves all working properly again. Hopefully that isn't bent. But look, I mean, you know, I don't know if you can see me. She's moving around. She shouldn't be doing that. That one's not moving. She's popped completely off. So that could be, well, I'm not saying that's what's caused the engine to seize, but it's a good possibility. especially if the valve is stuck on the piston or something, especially since it's been sitting for so damn long. So if we can pick that up and get all the valves loosened up, I reckon she might well turn over. But I don't know if I'll have time this afternoon. The wife and I are doing stuff. We've got to go see the tax agent and blah blah blah. But I'll give this a good soaking and let it sit overnight and get it back first thing in the morning, I think. Alright, I'm time to take the rockers off now. I think I've got everything disconnected. I think some of the they call it push rods may be bent. But so we'll inspect each and every one of the push rods. But I mean, at this stage they don't feel, they're a little bit gumped up, but they're not stuck. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ow. Got it. Alright. Let's have a look at these. That one's moving alright. That one's moving alright. That one's moving alright. That one's moving alright. This one's moving. This one's moving. That one's moving. That one's moving. That one's moving. That one's moving. Alright, they feel pretty good. That soak's really done them a good job. I'm going to put that down there in my container. I'm going to cover that in oil and stuff and keep it nice and greased up. But what I'm mostly interested in right now is the stupid camera. Is these bloody valves. Well, and the push rods. That one's straight. That one's straight. Straight. Nice and oily too, straight. 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 The end one's the biggest worry. Straight. Straight. This one looks pretty straight. What about this last one? And like I thought, straight. Alright. Well, they're nice and oiled and straight. Now for these bloody valves. So we're probably going to end up doing a part 2 on this because the timing's off. I mean, they've got these 3 going to the front and these 3 going to the back, and I'm pretty sure that's not how the firing order works. Almost guarantee it actually. So we're probably just going to get these valves loose. We'll try and get them loosened up and keep trying to knock the engine over. If loosening the valves doesn't fix our problem, we're going to have to take the head off and start pounding on the cylinders or something maybe, or check the bottom end. But yeah, hopefully you'll stick around for round 2. And that spring just bounced right back up. It's not making any noises. So the front one and that one all sticking. That doesn't sound right. It's not stuck. That one's stuck. That one's not. That one's not. And lucky last. I can't even get at it. Anyways, it's not stuck. I started playing around with this, the front one. I've been getting this in here and sort of loosening that up a bit. But you can hear the big difference between a good valve and a potentially bad one. So that about do it for our part one of Will It Run. Please tune in. Hopefully next week, if I get time, we'll do a bit more. Dad will be back Monday. He said he'll give me some time Monday and probably Wednesday as well. If we don't have anything else on Wednesday going on, we'll definitely spend a whole day on the engine maybe. Hopefully I'm going to do a full pull down, but not too worried if I don't. If I have to take the heads off, it'll be a lot easier to turn the engine to. To be continued.